Hey guys, Veebat here with another V-Plays, hopping into our F-84F Tier 10 American multi-role fighter. Again, March of Nations, as well as the event for trying to get the XF-85, permits you to be able to fly in American or British multi-roles, so I figured I'd throw this aircraft into a match and see how she played. Especially since this battle is going to be the meta versus dual meta versus single meta, if you would. We got two German 1101s specialized against an EF-131 specialized. And then me and my F-84F working with our 131. The 131 recognized me, gave me a shout out, so hey man, thanks and good luck. I see he's kind of heading for the center, so I launch my rockets, my big rockets at that site, and I see he didn't quite finish this area, so I threw a few more at the ground in order to finish off that site. So we picked up this mining plant very quickly, which is perfect. And then my next thought is I am going to go towards the center. I did call for other aircraft to attack that bomber, and now realizing that there aren't too many enemies over in this area, we could probably pick up this airfield fairly quickly. I do see a Jawa up here, a J7W3. We get a few good hits on him, but I'm just going to keep pressing on. This aircraft is a multi-role, so it does sport some pretty decent speed, and it does operate at higher altitudes than you would initially think, because its ceiling is much higher than what you would initially think. Its ceiling is actually a much higher ratio compared to where its max optimum altitude is. So it's not going to stall out, and it can keep a bit of engine power going. Factoring in for a gun kill here on the Spitfire, and now finishing off that J7W3. That was in the zone. We do have a lot of aggressive aircraft flying over here, but I would like to focus on one of the defense aircraft. Oh, we didn't quite get it. It looks like the 215 picked up that air defense aircraft, so we actually lost this sector. The enemy 1101s are heading right at us. We are going to continue to blitz straight through. Tried to get an air-to-air rocket kill on him, but it wasn't going to happen. So now we're just using our speed to try and get away from them as fast as possible. Throwing some machine gun fire against these ground targets, but it looks like both those 1101s decided to break off, which is good news for me. But the air defense aircraft vectored in on me. Once those heavies get a piece of you, if you're going in a straight line, they will take you out, so you got to pay attention to that. Also note that one of the other enemy players is Hole Puncher. Hole Puncher is a name that I kind of keep an eye on. He usually is a fairly effective player, and he is definitely someone to keep an eye on in battle. But our bomber's doing good work over here. It looks like he's going in for a bombing run and potentially going to be picking up that mining plant, so I figure I'm going to go give him a hand. I do have my Tiny Tims back up, and we're waiting for our other 12 5-inch rockets to come back online. Give him a good job over here, because he is doing a good job. If it wasn't for him, I'd be having a heck of a time, because if I had to fight those 1101s and have a one-on-one fight or a two-on-one fight, I'd be having a tough time. The 131 says he's at 25 frames per second, and he's playing on a laptop. I feel your pain, man. I too have had those situations in the past. Didn't always have a gaming setup like I got now. But he's still doing very well considering, and bombers are a good option for people who have bad internet connection. Anything that does any type of ground attack work. Ground attacker might be a little bit more difficult just because you're close to the ground now. Alright, that was a really close brushing pass on that heavy air defense aircraft. I would like to stay on him if I can. The thing about the F-84s, even starting at Tier 9, is it's a bit of a departure from what you experience on the rest of the line. On the rest of the line, you're going from the the rocket to the P-47 Bravo and November and the XP-72, which is just a more advanced version of that aircraft, and their low maneuverability, high volume of air-to-ground ordnance. But once you hit the F-84B, you're not only still getting the good speed, and you're also plussing up to a jet, but you get a ton of rockets. You get the exact same rocket configuration you get here. So you get the 2 tiny TIMs, you get the 12 H-fire rockets, or you can get 2 of the 500-pound bombs if you so chose. But you also get 6 50 cal machine guns, which are the same as the... Ooh, that was a big hits there. Which are the same as the 50 cals you get on the F-86 Sabre. So they are tier 10 50 cals, and you're getting turn times that are in the 10-second range instead of the 13-second range like you saw from its predecessors. It's actually kind of interesting to me how the American lines at tier 9 for the multi-rolls kind of switch their maneuverability and speed characteristics, because you have the Corsair, which has pretty decent maneuverability compared to the P-47s. And then once you get to tier 9, you get this F-84 or F-94 and the F-84, and those two are swapped on maneuverability characteristics, and they emphasize more on speed for the 94 and then even the F-7U at tier 10. And then you get this thing, and it's actually a pretty decent dogfighter. If an altitude fighter decides he wants to come down on me and fight at my altitude block, I can usually do a pretty good job against him. We're going to throw both tiny TIMs on here, I think. Yeah, just to ensure that we pick it up. But we still got a little bit of the zone we need to capture, so I'm going to vector in on this Spitfire. Oh, looks like we picked it up anyways, so that's good. I'd like to think taking out that one site was the thing that kind of gave us a little bit of a helping hand. Most of the aircraft you're seeing around me are actually up above me, so we're going to go ahead and vector up for an up and under attack. I do not have my consumables set up the way I would like. I would prefer to have the engine cooler on here, because then I'd be able to continue to press into these higher altitudes. I'm trying to decide which one's going to be closer first. It looks like the I-211 is the one that's going to be dipping down. Both of those aircraft were up at a much too high an altitude, and we have a lot more speed available to us. I was going to go for this I-215, but game pretty much ended, and I attribute this win wholeheartedly to Snafubar, S-N-A Fubar. I haven't even thought about the name itself, but he really was the one that carried this game for me, so I really do appreciate it. So shout out to you, thanks a lot. And the F-84, for those of you that are grinding down the line, just know that at tier 9 things change drastically, and the XP-72 may be a bit of a slog if you're not used to that low maneuverability by this point and you're going up against a lot more jets. It does get better. I haven't heard anybody complain about the F-84s, either the Bravo or the F variant at tier 10. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Always getting closer. I'm marching till it's over.